Today's session is on harnessing machine learning for revenue growth management, and it will be taken by Mr. Urvinder Singh.
Actually, you're not audible enough. Can you just pitch up a bit of your volume?
Yeah, just a minute. Better now? Just a minute. I'm audible. Hello? Am I audible?
Still, your voice is very feeble. Like, very hard to hear.
I think there's some problem with my system. So let's just start the session. It's on harnessing machine learning for revenue growth management, and it will be taken by Mr. Urvinder Singh. I think you can introduce yourself and start.
May I start?
Just start.
Okay.
Priyanka, can we mute the people?
Yeah,
can you mute? Yeah, please do that.
Mr. Urvinder Singh is an Associate General Manager at Data Science at APEC, and he's a 40 under 40 data scientist, AIM 40 under 40 data science innovator. Also winner of the Young Turks in AI and Analytics 2023 and the AI Changemaker Impact Award by 3AI, as well as the recipient of the Emerging Data Analytics Leader of the Year Award. He is currently engaged with Lind as the Associate General Manager, and his versatility and ability to drive data-driven innovation have been honed through his tenure at global giants like Lind, Colgate, Palmolive, and Ericsson. So over to you, sir.
Okay. So guys, let me share my screen and let me know if my screen is visible to everyone. If someone can give me visible. Okay, great. So let me just turn on my camera. Okay. So before we start, let's try to understand what is the need of machine learning in different aspects of your day-to-day jobs or rather day-to-day domains, etc. So if you talk about your normal day as well, the moment you turn on your data, you will find that you are all circulated with various machine learning and AI applications, be it your, let's say, Instagram, be it your Google, be it your mails, etc. Everything is basically driven and has a bit of backbone, which is somewhat focusing towards the machine learning aspect of it. Now, we'll try to understand machine learning from one very different lens that is called revenue growth management. And what do you basically understand by the term revenue growth management, if I say? So revenue growth management is a type of domain or other type of learning or type of a management scheme that helps to grow your revenue in any kind of a business, and how machine learning is taking key initiatives to help the business grow properly. So one of the very most important leveraging pillars we'll be discussing about in details. But before we move forward, I want you to tell me or rather help me in understanding one particular question or rather answer, or rather if you can help me giving an answer to this particular question. Now, how many of you have used e-commerce? E-commerce is like Amazon, Flipkart, Zepto, or you can say Blinkit, Zomato, etc. How many of you have used it? Considering around 75 participants. So how many of you think, or rather, how many of you have used it to buy anything or purchase anything from it? I can see many people are raising their hand. If you can raise your hand, it would be quite helpful for me. Or if you can unmute yourself and then help me get to know about. We can see quite a good number. People are saying that they have used Amazon or Flipkart or any other, let's say it can be Nykaa, it can be Myntra, it can be any other platform on which they are buying it. Now, what is FMCG and CPG first of all? So when it comes to FMCG and CPG, you must be knowing about biscuits. You might be knowing about your consumer products like shampoo, your normal toothpaste, etc. So which you consume, which you use on day-to-day basis, which are the essential part of your normal day-to-day work, that is called as the products from CPG or FMCG area. So when I talk about the FMCG penetration or the contribution in e-commerce, so what would, as per you, what would be the percentage contribution? Let's say if in India, the total sales that are being generated is, let's say, 100 rupees from overall selling of the CPG or FMCG products. How much percentage of the sales would be generated through e-commerce? So you can type in your answers in the chat. As per you, how much, what would be the percentage? Yes. 60%, okay. Okay, we have 70%. Yes, guys. Yes, guys, keep on throwing the question answers. 65 to 65, yes, 75. Yes, 70. Yes, okay, 80. We have 80 as well. Okay, nice. Good. Can we have some more participation in the chat? Yeah, 60 to 70%. So if you see here, we have good amount of responses, and people are saying somewhere around from the range of 50, someone is saying 60, 70, 75, 80, etc. Now, so what was, or rather, if I tell you the right answer, you might be amazed. So the right answer, or rather, if you can see, these are set of responses that I've got. So I have conducted a bit of survey, or rather in the last session also, I asked this particular question. So some like in the last session, wherever I gave, I asked the same question. I have recorded these questions. So there were around 150 students in that batch. And I asked this question, and this was where their answers and the responses were. And if you see, your responses are also somewhat similar to this particular responses, around 70, 80, 65 somewhere. So what I'm getting here is that you are using your own intuitions. Yes or no? You might have used your own intuitions to tell me this particular answer. So the right answer is only 4.78. This is the penetration of e-commerce in India. So the reason of this thing is, or rather the reason to ask this particular question is to understand the importance of data in your data analysis. Until and unless you do a proper data analysis, you will never be going in the right track. You will not be taking the right decisions for your business. Therefore, data analysis is very, very, very important, be it any domain. And I've just given one particular domain in the field of FMCG or CPG or retail organizations. Like if I name some of the big FMCG companies, it can be General Mills, it can be Nestle, it can be Reckitt, it can be Colgate, it can be HUL, etc. There are many, Dabur, etc. So these are the companies, and these are the companies which are giving a very good amount of weightage to data science nowadays. So therefore, we need, guys, can you mute yourself? Okay. So these companies are giving a lot of weightage to data analysis because they have started understanding the importance and what all key capabilities and the things it brings to the table. Okay. Now, coming back to this thing, what was wrong in the responses and why the responses were not at all correct or near to the answer? The reason, or rather one thing I've already told you earlier, was the reason was the intuition. You thought that if I'm using heavily the e-commerce platform, everyone would be using it. Yes or no? That was the key initiative. It means you had biases in your responses. Based on the biases, or rather based on the numbers that you had in your mind, you gave this particular response, and this led to the wrong response. Therefore, whenever you give any kind of insight, you need to consult the data and you need to check whether I'm using the right data or not, and I'm not using intuitions itself. Moving forward, you might be coming across a new field that is called decision sciences. So what is decision sciences? Decision sciences is based on two things. One is data analysis and one is behavioral sciences. And there is a bit of intuition based. Intuition is something that we never consider. We only take the factuals. Intuition will never give you anything in the right direction. So therefore, moving forward also, never use your intuitions to generate any responses. Always consult the data and then give your analysis. Intuitions will not lead you anywhere. So this was just letting you know about the understanding or the importance why we need data analysis. Now let's talk about RGM. Now what is RGM? RGM is Revenue Growth Management. And the key initiative and why all these organizations, guys, if you can mute, it would be very helpful for me. So why organizations are moving towards RGM? The reason of using machine learning is, or what it helps the organization do, it will try to optimize your spends. If I talk about one simple domain of, let's say, promotion. So when you run a promotion, you spend some money on it. So it will try to optimize like what can be the right amount you should be spending upon so that you can get better returns. And this is where RGM plays a very, very important role. And what basically it helps you do, it tries to increase the revenue, focusing on pricing strategy, like whether a product price has to be increased or decreased, or it has to be same. What is the type of customer? What type of product shall I sell to the right customer? What is the personalization thing that I can bring in? Right product placement. On which shelf I should place what product, along with what other products. Promotional tactics means what promotion shall I give? Shall I give 1+1? Shall I give 10% discount? Shall I give 50% discount? Or shall I give no discount at all? What should be the right tactics for any product? And to understand the consumer behavior side by side as well, to give you the right decision or the right key takeaway so that you can build it in your normal day-to-day business. Okay. So this was just a bit of understanding about why we need RGM with respect to machine learning stuff. And in RGM, we have majorly three pillars. I'll be talking about the three pillars. There are many other pillars that we can build upon, but talking about the three pillars that I'll be talking about, one is the the shelf optimization and recommendation. Now, what do you mean by shelf optimization? Shelf optimization basically means when you go, let's say you are going in a Reliance store, or let's say D-Mart store, or more retail store, or a big departmental store. So when you go and enter that particular store, you will see a lot of shelves placed and lot many products are placed there. So I want to place those products in that particular store, which will have high probability to be sold quickly. I don't want to place those particular products that are just warming up the shelf. I don't want to be placed and no one is buying it. I don't want to occupy my space. I want to keep that particular product which is highly selling. I don't want to sell those products which are not being sold in that area. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my product and energy, etc. So shelf optimization is very important. And recommendation means what product should be placed there, what to be removed, and what has to be replaced with that the product which has been removed. And this is one particular use case. So why I'm picking these use cases is because it is looking very generic theoretical form, but machine learning plays a very key and crucial role in it. And moving forward, when you will be working in all these environment, so let's say you are working in a retail environment, let's say one of the FMCG organizations. So these are the key use cases that you will be working upon. So how you can, what type of use cases or rather what type of algorithms are used in all these stuff? So when I'm talking about shelf optimization and recommendation, you will be using recommendation engine. You will be using a technique called RFM, that is recency, frequency, and monetary. Then you will be using clustering algorithms. So I think from the data science background, if you are and if you have already started your journey from data science thing, you will be familiar with all these terminologies like what is recommendation engine, what is clustering, what is an RFM technique, etc. Then one thing we can also work upon is customer segmentation and profiling. Now, customer segmentation and profiling works in various different domains. It can be in credit cards, it can be in financial domains, it can also play a key role in retail and others. Okay. Now, if I talk about the reason of using customer segmentation, the reason is I'll be able to understand what type of people are living there and what type of product shall I sell. If I do not know what type of audience I'm catering to, I will not be able to sell the right product. Let's say I am trying to sell wheat in a rice eating area. Will my product be sold? Not at all, because I'm not able to understand the segmentation or not able to understand the population. Sorry, understand the sample. I'm unable to profile what type of key attributes these people hold. So for that, we'll be using an unsupervised learning algorithm. We can use any clustering method. It can be anything. And based on the output of each cluster, we'll try to profile. We'll try to give a definition to each cluster and then take the actions accordingly. And then comes pricing and promotion and optimization. Pricing and promotion basically means whether the product price has to be increased, decreased, or has to be kept constant. Similarly, for the promotion, do I have to increase, decrease, or keep the promotion constant? Or we can play accordingly. Increase the pricing and keep the promotion constant, decrease the pricing and increase the promotion, etc. Whatever things we can play with. So these are the key aspect of your RGM strategy. There is also one particular pillar that is called MMM. That stands for media mix modeling, or people also call it as market mix modeling. It helps you to optimize your media spends. Means, let's say if I'm a product company and I am to do my promotion of a particular product. So you will be spending a lot on the advertisement. Like you will be doing advertisement on YouTube or any social media platform. Let's say it can be Instagram, it can be X, or you can call it as Twitter, Facebook, newspaper, TV, etc. Now, how much has to be spent so that I can get the better ROI back? Do I have to spend more on this particular platform, or do I have to spend less on that particular platform, and how much return I'm getting from that particular platform? Let's say if I'm spending 100 rupees on Instagram and I'm getting back as 500 rupees in back from the Instagram sales, means through Instagram my ads are being generated. It is routing and it is letting the people buy it from that particular ad. It means I'm getting how much return? I'm getting almost 5%, or rather 500% increase in the return. Okay. Similarly, it means I'm going in the right direction. I can put more money so that my buying, purchasing, or conversion return or rather conversion percentage increases. Similarly, it will try to understand from different platforms and give you the right stand. And what is being used? It is using regression algorithm, because we understand from regression the beta coefficient, the weightage of each and every particular spend, means whether it is having high spend or low spend, etc. And a bit of operational research to help you to allocate the right budget, whether to minimize the spend or maximize the spend, whatever, based on the objective. So we'll be talking about this thing in the later part of this particular discussion. Let's start with it. Yes, someone has raised the question. You have a raise the hand. Do you have any question? Okay. Okay, so first we'll be picking up the use case that is called transforming store shelf. And what we have done is we'll be using, we had used recommendation engine along with computer vision. So moving forward, when you will be building any application in the real world scenario, only one model will never work. You have to use multiple models to solve one particular use case. That is the beauty of ML, or you can say that is the reality of ML. Not just one model, you have to use multiple model, bring all those output together and give the right output, or you can say do one layering on top of it and give the one single response that is responsible for your particular ask. Okay. Now, what was the objective of this particular use case? The objective was to increase the assortment in direct trade. Now, what is direct trade? Direct trade basically means if I'm a particular company, let's say a company who's doing manufacturing, let's say a toothpaste brand, okay? And I manufacture toothpaste. So I'll be selling this particular product directly to that particular store. Let's say Reliance. Okay, let's say HUL is building up any toothpaste, let's say Pepsodent. So it is being directly sold to Reliance. There is no middleman. Whereas if you talk about journal store, wholesale, or rather general merchant store, or some other store, Kirana store, there is a salesman. There is a warehouse who is sitting between the company and the shop. So in direct trade, there is no middleman there. So what we have to do is we have to give the recommendation based on the shopper metrics. We have to increase the assortment, and there should be no intuition based selling. Means like you have given the response, like it can be 80%, it can be 75%, etc. It should not be there. It should be data backed. It should be something which is backed by the data, and it should be factually correct, which can help us to increase the revenue. So what were the problem initially with this particular solution? Before our solution came in, what were the problem business was facing? One was intuition. Means people were thinking, or the salesman was thinking that, okay, it will give me more incentive. Let me push this particular product to the product, or rather product to the particular shop, or rather you can say product in a particular store. Higher the incentive, more the product will be placed. They will not sell the product with any focus. They will be only selling it through intuitions. And then is efficacy. Means whatever product they are placing on the shelf, it is not generating the right revenue. It is not giving us the right revenue, or it has whatever the opportunity it has, whatever the potential it has, it is not generating the revenue based on those potentials. Segmentation was not done properly. Okay, means what product has to be kept where, in which particular area, that was not done properly. And then was manual tracking. Means there will be one merchandiser. You might have seen people wearing the merchandiser, or rather a t-shirt of the brand of which the product is being sold. They will be standing near that product, or you can say that brand. They will be endorsing that particular brand. So they do a manual tracking. They will keep a register, or they will be just kicking pictures, etc. That these many products were placed today, and this is the number of product that has been sold. And if they have to reshuffle the, you can say shelf, then they have to use their own brain. Nothing was guiding them. So these were basically the problem that they were facing. Now, what was the solution to address those problems? To build a comprehensive assortment engine, means a recommendation engine. Right assortment at the right store means you should not be placing those products that are not capable of being sold in that particular area. It means right product at right place. Robust infra with strong efficiency means whatever you are selling, or rather whatever your solution is recommending, it should have the potential to be sold. Competitive intelligence means it should look at, we can use some sensors, we can use computer vision to help whether the shelf is having only my product or it is a mix of both my product and the competition product. Let's say Colgate products are kept and I'm also adding Dabur's ka toothpaste or I'm also adding Dant Kanti. So a shelf is basically only for one particular brand. It should not have a mixture of it. So using computer vision, we can address those challenges. A live merchandiser assistant. So using computer vision, it gives you a live track. What are the number of products you kept in the morning and how many products are left? Do you have to restock? You have to ask for more stock, XYZ. So everything was shifted toward a more digitalized way. And one thing that is very important for all these stuff that I've been talking about is the data. If you do not have the right data, you will not be able to prepare the right dish or rather the right assortment. So what all things we have used to build this particular thing? Of course, we need a historical data, but historical data of a particular product being sold in a store will give you only inward understanding. But I want to look at the store from the outward perspective as well. Means how many people are living around that particular store? What are the type of demography of that people living in that particular living nearby store? What is the you can say what is their salary, what is their household look like, what is the consumption, etc., what is their expenditure. I need to understand everything. And how many malls are there nearby that particular store? Is there any other prominent location nearby that particular store, etc.? Need to understand. Okay. So what all products or rather what all data we have used? We have used historical data. We use real-time mobility index, means how many people are there at that particular store or nearby that store at any given point of time. Means higher the population in that store or in that area of store means we can place better type of products. We can understand what type of people also using economic activity patterns and purchasing power index as to whatever people move around in that particular area or vicinity, what is the type of demography of that particular audience. And accordingly, we can place the store. Let's say there is one particular store which is in South Bombay. We know that it is a very premium location. We know the vicinity is quite premium. We know the penetration and the purchasing power is quite high. Expenditure is also high. So we can place a premium product there. So it helps to understand what is the right profile of that particular area. And it helps indirectly or rather directly helps us to bring up the right recommendations. So with these data, it is very important to use these data for recommendation. And majorly, there are basically 4 pillars when you do any customer profiling or customer segmentation. So one is the demography, geography, psychography, and your behavior. These are the 4 pillars of any customer segmentation. And how does the overall architecture looks like? We had different data sources. We have external data sources. We have internal data sources. We have data in SAP, and then we switch to the cloud, Docker, etc. And then we use all these models and everything. We clean. We used all these models stable using like all these architectural views, and then gave the output. Now, if I give you output in the Excel format, it will not help you in any form. If you are a business person, I need to give you the output on a dynamic basis, and it should be in a presentable form. Let's talk about Amazon. So when I'm talking about Amazon, Amazon is not giving you an output in an Excel form. It is giving you an output in a presentable form. And how? Let's say you click on any particular product. The moment you will scroll down, you will see people who bought this has also bought this or similar products. So it is into a presentable format. And this is what is needed from any particular data scientist, that whatever you do, it should be good enough, but also the soft skill, that is the communication of your work, has to also be is very important in your work. This is a key skill that has to be present in your resume or rather in your skill set. If you are not a good, if you do not have good communication skills, chances of you telling the product and rather the capability of the product to the counterpart, you might not be able to deliver that particular thing. Therefore, communication plays a very important role here. And then once we have it, once the recommendation are there, then what will happen? A person will go into that particular store, that is a merchandiser. He will check the recommendations that what are the recommendations that the particular algorithm is giving. He will click the pictures of that particular shelf and place whether that particular product has been recommended or not. If not, then we'll be removing it. If yes, we'll be keeping it. And if a new product has been added in that recommended list, we will add those products to the shelf. And then we'll click the picture and then we'll move out. One thing is this, what on top of it we also try to do is we help them to arrange the products. So when you go in a particular store, there is a study as to how you look at a particular shelf. So whenever you go, there is a particular there is a company called Neurosciences. They have done the study. You always look in a diamond shaped or a rhombus shaped view. You will never look line item. You will always go in this direction. That is a rhombus form. So I need to consider that particular shape and then give the recommendation accordingly. And this was what was done. And because of this efforts and everything placed together, we were able to generate the right recommendation, and we were able to perform the change management also in a proper way. And at the end, it helped us to increase the revenue by 3 figures, or rather, if I talk about the percentage, it double-digit percentage. You can say we increase the sales, and we were able to increase the market share of that products. So, what were the advantages? Asset messaging means this product is not present right at right point. We need to do that particular planning accordingly. Means that product is not present. The solution is recommending that particular product to be placed. I need to place that particular product in that particular store. Real-time quantifiable metric means whether the sales are going up because of those recommendations or whether the sales are going down because of that recommendation. Increase in premiumization. Now, if I know that what are the area where the premium product can be sold, I can push more premium products. Earlier, I was a bit hesitant whether the people will buy costlier product or premium products or not. But now with this particular AI thing or rather ML customer profiling, I was able to understand what are the pockets where I can place this premium products. So it helps you to increase the premiumization. Personalization means which area will buy what type of product, which type of products can be sold in this area. So personalization was placed, and real-time visibility of shelf health. Now, what is health? Health is basically whether the shelf with those products is good, means it is generating better throughput, means better sales or not. If yes, then obviously the solution is working well. If not, it means the solution didn't work well for that particular thing. And we saw that it was good and the status was always healthy, means there was increase in each and every shelf and each and every store in which we implemented this particular solution. Now, once this is there, we have placed the products there. Now, you will always see that when you go to these large format store, you will always find discounting. And then that is the only reason you go to these stores to buy, just because of the discount. Otherwise, if you have to buy product on MRP, you will go to normal Kirana store. Kirana stores sometimes also give 1 rupee or 2 rupee discount. But you have to go for heavy discounting. We have to go to a large format store. And when you give a discount, the company in the backend has to do a lot of work to understand what can be the right promotion to attract more audience. I should not be giving overly high promotion or discount, or I should not be giving like very less discount also. Sometimes if you get a very high discount, you will not buy that particular product, considering that it might be getting near to expiry or something is wrong with it. Therefore, they are giving high discount, or this particular is not being sold. Therefore, they are giving high discount. But in the backend, there is a lot of study that goes behind it, and machine learning plays a very crucial role here in it. And if we talk about the overall life cycle of this particular promotional aspect, we start with understanding the business question as to what is the objective. Do you want to optimize the price, or you want to optimize the promotion, or you want to optimize everything? And then you start working on the data acquisition part, means what all data you need there. You want any external data. Let's say when it comes to pricing, you need 2 things very importantly. One is what is your product price, and what is the competition product price. So let's take an example. Let's say there is one particular product. Let's say there's a shampoo, Head and Shoulder, okay? And then there is one particular product, let's say Tresemme and Dove. So these are the 3 products. Dove and Tresemme, I think HUL is all this Head and Shoulder is also of HUL, I guess. All these three products are basically belonging to one company. But it might be a chance that if I give a discount heavy on Head and Shoulder, people standing near to these particular shelf will not buy Tresemme and Dove, they will end up buy Head and Shoulder. This is one case. Other is the brand loyal people. Means if you are using Dove, you will pick Dove irrespective whether the discount is there or not, you will end up buying it. But in India, that audience of brand loyalty is very less. Therefore, we need to pick or rather drop the right promotion, right discounting. Now, what happens if I do not like if my product, let's say Tresemme and Dove are not being sold and only one particular product is sold. At the end of the day, my sales are getting impacted because my other two products are not being sold. It means there is a concept of cannibalization. Now, what is cannibalization? Cannibalization can be of two types. One is the internal cannibalization, means my own products, my own company products are eating up my sales, just in case of Tresemme and Dove and Head and Shoulder. But then there is external cannibalization. What is external cannibalization? Let's say there is one Colgate Total, one toothpaste, and there is the competitor, let's say Dant Kanti. Okay. Now, Dant Kanti is eating up the sales of Colgate Total. It is external. So therefore, I need to have all these products and both external and internal and their pricing and their promotional activities. And once you have it, you can build a regression model on top of it to understand what can be the best product, which the right price and promotion. And what basically we need to calculate, we need to calculate promotional elasticity. Means if I increase the price by one, or rather if I change the price unit or promotional unit by one, let's say if I increase the promotion by one, what will be the impact on the sales? Means your dependent variable will be sales unit. Okay. We don't use sales value, we use sales unit, means how many units will be sold. Or rather, there will be an increment or decrement accordingly. And these are the data which are very, very important. Means what is and when and where the price was increased. Let's say in January, the product was sold at 35 rupees, and in June, the product is being sold at 45 rupees. Now, there is a change of some amount, and you will try to see whether the number of units are getting impacted or not. Means how much correlation is between the price of a product and the number of unit being sold. Okay. So these are key things that we work in. And once we know all these stuff, we also need to understand which product is the competition of which product. I cannot place a Colgate toothpaste with a shampoo. These are not your competition. The competition should be a valid competition. Okay. And once we have it, we have all these things, we have the marginal curve, etc. I'll show you the output and the equation as well. Okay. So once we have this thing, the key outputs are, first of all, it will help you what will be your sales at what discounting. Means if you put the discount of, let's say, 10 rupees, what will be your sales? If you put this, and how many units will you be selling? What will be the incrementality in that particular units? And also, I'll be showing you how the regression equation looks like. Your regression equation basically is what? Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 beta 2 x2 x3. So this is what the equation looks like. So this is how an equation looks like. So it can be sales in volume or sales in units. So it is a function of, means this is how you write a particular equation. Your total sales is a function of own price, competitor price, and competitor price ratio, along with your promotions, along with your competition promotion, a weighted distribution, etc. These are some other things, and cannibalization factor. This is how your equation looks like. And why I'm giving this knowledge to you, like, because this is something which is in high demand. Pricing and promotion is always in high demand when it comes to any particular product company, be it retail or anything. So if you are in a place of getting into a retail kind of environment for data science stuff, be ready that you will be working on this thing. And this particular thing will be quite helpful for you when you start implementing this thing. You can work in an open source environment, you can work on your projects, you can work on your capstones, etc. You can do your research on this. This is quite important and this is quite helpful for you building up your capability on it. And then the pricing strategy, like when you get these elasticities, depends on everything, you'll get to know like, do I have to increase the price or not? Do I have to keep the prices low? Do I have to increase the discount or not? Do I have to keep thing accordingly or not? So if you see here, one is high and low. It means you can increase the elasticity or you can increase the promotion, but you cannot increase the price. Here it is, you can increase the price, increase the promotion, whichever product will lie in this particular quadrant. It basically tells you that you can increase the price, increase the promotion, but you cannot increase the price. It means people are very sensitive to price in these areas. Here, you can increase the discount and keep the price again low. Okay, and what it is saying, high everyday price can also be increased, means people in this section can be brand loyal, means be it whatever the price you have, people can still buy it. And then you have EDLP. EDLP is everyday low price. So some of the products you might be going and you will be always seeing these are always in discounting or always kept on discount. And these are the products. You cannot change these products. And options are, these are the most risky products to change the price and the discounting on it. You need to take a lot of caution when you want to change it. So this is what comes out of when you start working on the pricing strategies. And this is how the model output looks like. Now, if you see the screen, on your x-axis, I have the discounting thing, like at what max you can go with the discount. Do I have to give 1 rupee discount, 2 rupee discount, discuss, etc. And it also depends what is your objective. You want to get your sales volume to be increased, value to be increased, or you want to get the maximum sales. Okay, there are three things that you need to look at. Now, if you look at this particular line, that is the red line and the yellow line, this yellow line is basically telling you what is the maximum sale that you can gain. And this line, red line, is basically a stagnant line telling you this is the maximum sale. So if your objective is getting the maximum sale, wherever this line is touching this particular stagnant line tells you that that is the best promotion that you can give or discount you can give. So we can see that around 10 to 13 rupees is the best discount value you can give it to your product. So if the product is of, let's say, 10 rupees, you can give a discount of, 100 rupees, you can give a discount of 10 to 13 rupees, you will get the highest sales. Sometimes what happens, sales is not the important. You want your volume to be increased, means people should buy more product, more volume to be bought. Let's say you have a product of 2 liters. It means if you sell one product, still it will give you high value. But I want to sell those product with high volume, means people should buy more, quickly replenish their stock. So I want to improve their change, or rather improve their effective uplifts. So if I want to increase the volume, then you can see somewhere here I can place. So this is how you can look at. I can change my discounting price. If I want to go from 20 to 40, somewhere around I have to give the discount of 26 or 28 rupees. So these are the stuff that helps you to decide the right methods or techniques in taking this. Now you might be saying that this is more of a theoretical perspective, but if you see here, in every aspect, machine learning was the backbone to it, be it recommendation engine, be it clustering, be it regression, etc. So this is how we can use machine learning in the RGM environment or your RGM space. So this was all about from my end. Happy to take up questions from you all. If you have any questions. you have any questions, guys, you can drop the question in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
So in turns, do we have any questions? You can please write in the chat box, or you can unmute and ask questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep. Yes.
Sir, I've been wondering about why are we using the regression models? Because we have been taught that these models are actually very prone to not taking into account the relationship, the variables that can have with each other. So, why are they working so well in your domain, as you just?
See, what is regression model? First of all, regression model, there are many regression models. There is not just one regression model. You might be talking about linear regression, correct? So there are two types the way we look at. One is if you want to predict anything. Here we do not want to predict anything. We want to check the relationships. So there are one method is called parametric approach, where you get the equation. So when you get the equations, what you get is you don't get inflated numbers. You get the relationship intensity of that particular variable. So if I say y is equal to beta not, let's leave about intercept. If I say sales is equals to beta 1 competition price x1. Now beta 1 value is, let's say, 1.5%. Okay. It means that if I increase the price of my competition by 1%, my sale will get impacted by 1.5%. And the sign of that beta will help me to understand that. If it is positive, it means the sales will increase. If it is negative, it means the sales will take a dip. Okay. So regression model tries to help you to build a better relationship, and we'll be using not simple linear regression model. We'll be using Bayesian models. We'll be using hierarchical models. So these are the models that we'll be using. Okay. Simple linear regression model can be used, but it will give you a bit of understanding of it. We can use raster-rich regression just for the model to, it should not have inflated betas, or again, you can say it will not be prone to overfitting. Okay. So therefore we'll be using the regression. The objective is what? The continuous variables. Therefore we go with regression. I hope I'm
So
able to answer.
basically, we are trying to understand the relationship or the kind of effect each variable is having in our model.
Yes, absolutely. We are not going to predict the volume. We are not using it anyhow. We are using the beta coefficient and then drive the elasticities of it. Okay.
Sir, how does operation research comes into action in this case?
Yeah. In this operation research comes to action, let's say your objective is to maximize your sales. Okay. And then you have multiple constraints that you cannot go beyond. Let's say you have a limit that this is the highest budget that you can push in each and every channel. And this is the ROIs that you have. So right allocation of those budgets, this is where we use operational research. So you can use maximization problem is something we use the most to maximize your revenue, and minimum linear programming we use to minimize your spend in each and everything so that you can get the maximum output. So this is where we use to allocate to allocate the right budget to the right platform based on their respective ROIs.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sonam, do you have any question for sir?
Any
Okay.
more questions from the participants? Okay, no. Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your session.
Okay. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Urvinder sir, for such a beautiful session. It was another aspect to machine learning.
Thank you. Thank you for your words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Um,
Please fill the feedback form before you leave the session. The link is in the chat.